Nature has always been the cathedral of my heart. And I suspect that's because I lived on a dead-end street surrounded by a forest. And it was our playground. And it was my comfort when I would come home from school in the afternoon, because I had to walk through the woods. It was much longer if I took the road. And there was a grove of trees that would always ask me, "How was your day?" And sometimes I'd be late getting home, and my mother would say, "What took you so long? You were supposed to come right home." And I was like, "No lollygagging." And I'm like, "They're my best friends, you know?" It's where I go to seek comfort, to heal the wounds of the world. When I breathe with the trees, it's like sleeping on the Earth Mother's breast. I feel secure and become one with the natural world. As the sunlight streams through the trees and the leaves dance in the gentle breeze, bringing endless fascination to my eyes, I find succor, renewal, and strength when I immerse myself in nature. Thoreau reminds us, not till we have lost the world do we begin to align ourselves with our true nature. My colleague, Thea Netfeld, writes, "Nature renders us whole in our yearning for life." I noticed that when I was in retail and social work, I did a lot of camping and hiking and skiing. And it was always such a culture shock to come back in to urban life after living remotely, far from roads, accessible only by boat. It's always hard to come back from vacation. But taking in wildness renews what has atrophied or been paralyzed. She writes, "We need wild healing when the senses have shut down and growth's movement is blocked. Like when I watch too much news. Wildness expands our awareness. It broadens our horizons. And if we are receptive, we engage in an ever-circling flow of energy. We give to the earth, and the earth gives to us." In her book, Wild Healing, Netfeld recounts how anxious she was the day before her surgery. To remind herself of who she is, she immersed herself in a nature walk and was reminded of the hymn, "Wake now, my senses, and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving, as love shows us how." She sang it to herself over and over until she had internalized it and remembered who she is. And by evening, she was ready for her surgery the next day. Knowing our vow to creation is to respond as best we can to whatever life has to offer as an opportunity to give and receive love. That is the biggest challenge of this life. Nature strengthened and inspired her to face whatever the next day would bring. Indeed. And the thing is, all this intuitive stuff, it takes a while for science to catch up. But I did read in a National Geographic article recently, a psychologist by the name of Dr. Susan Albers who was talking about the physiological health benefits of earthing or having direct skin contact with the earth. I'd never heard of this word earthing until a few months ago. When we physically connect with the earth, its electrical energy rebalances our own. You've heard of dirt therapy, or beach therapy, or water therapy, boat therapy. We do this whenever we put our hands in the soil, lay on the grass looking up at the sky, walking barefoot on the beach, or swimming in a natural body of water. Earthing or forest bathing is not something new. Indigenous peoples have known about the healing properties of the earth since the dawn of time. Some Buddhists call it a mindfulness practice. And I love the words by John Muir. Into the forest I go, to lose my mind and find my soul. Communing with nature can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, because sensory immersion in nature directs our attention away from negative thoughts and promotes a sense of well-being and connectedness. Some even consider it a form of aromatherapy. Can't you just smell the pines as you walk through the woods? It seems like sometimes that scent is more noticeable than other times. And I wonder if there's a cycle in pine trees. As we near the end of the church year, some of us may already be spending more time in nature, tending the gardens of our lives. When we grow weary of the world, it's important to remember what renews our spirit. Whether we choose to cultivate more joy in our lives, as we talked about a few weeks ago, or find peace and perspective in the grandeur of nature, it's important to know what to do when we need to restore our sense of well-being. Now, I understand there are many accessible walking paths here in Middleboro. And the thought came to mind, what a great spiritual practice. Amid all the chaos in the world, what if every Tuesday afternoon, weather permitting, some of us chose to go to one of these accessible walking paths with our beach chairs, gather in a circle in the parking lot, do a brief check-in about what we need to let go in order to be fully present in nature, put our beach chairs away, and then walk in silence along the path, stopping where we wish, moving at our own pace. And when we return to the parking lot, we gather once again in a circle to share any insight we may have gained on our journey. And even though the church year is almost over, this is what I'm planning to do starting in May. So it'll be in the afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock. And I'm going to rely on you all to tell me where we're going, because I don't know. We need a toolbox in these times if we're going to take care of ourselves and respond in ways that are productive and responsible and effective. So I hope you'll join me in this spiritual practice starting next Tuesday. May it be so.